So today's video is going to be my all-time favorite top 4 drugstore foundations. I only chose 4 because I didn't want to include foundations that I just liked. I wanted to make sure these were the ones that were my holy grail from the drugstore and that I would keep repurchasing or have repurchased already. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and always don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And let's just go ahead and get started. So the first foundation I want to talk about is this Rimmel Stay Matte foundation. It says it's a liquid mousse foundation, and this one I have right here is in the shade 100 Ivory. I love this foundation. I repurchased this. This is probably the foundation that I've repurchased the most out of all of these, and even like other foundations that I'm not mentioning. That just shows how much I love it. I feel like it is pretty true to form. It is a liquid mousse, which I totally feel that way. It is very moussey and very airy and kind of whipped feeling, but it comes out of the squeezy tube, which is nice. I love this because you can just squeeze out however much you want. You don't have to pour anything. That's awesome. It's lightweight on the skin. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It lasts all day long. Even before I was on this medication when I was oily, it lasted forever, and it was my go-to, especially during the summer when I was sweaty out in the sun, very oily. I loved this. I wore it every single day, and they do have a pretty good shade ranges. So even if you're darker than this, there's going to be colors for you. It does not sink into fine lines. It does not show your pores. It just looks really, really nice on the skin. Makes you have this like airbrushed quality to your skin, which I love. Next up is this Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation, and this one I have is in the shade Soft Ivory, and this is actually what I'm wearing on my skin today. I love this foundation. I feel like everybody loves this foundation. The one thing I really like about this, which I didn't think I would, is the applicator. So it comes out in this little like spatula thing, and I really like that because you can put however much you want on your skin. You don't have to pour it out if you don't want to, and that way you can like really control how much you're using and putting on your skin. But I just feel like this gives a really, really nice coverage. It lasts all day long. It does not make me oily. It does not settle into fine lines. It looks super natural on the skin. Even on the bottle it says, "Goodbye photo flashback, helps eliminate white particle reflection." I totally agree. I mean, I love this. I would totally wear this if you had events or anything like that. It's just an all-around great foundation, and it's Wet n Wild, so I think it is around the price with the Rimmel one, like probably $5 or $6. Next up is this NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I would say out of all these I'm mentioning, this is probably my favorite one, just by a little bit, not by much. And this is also the most expensive one. I think this was like $11 or $12 at Ulta. But it's totally worth it. Totally, totally, totally worth it. The applicator is a little bit different. Obviously, it's in the name. It has a drop. So you just squeeze, and then you can just drop this on your skin, on your sponge, on your brush, however you want to put your foundation on. And it just goes on so smoothly. It's very lightweight feeling on the skin, yet it gives you full coverage foundation face. I mean, it's just like full glam in an instant. I wore this when I was a bridesmaid in one of my friend's wedding. I put it on at probably 10:30 in the morning, did not take it off until 1:30 the next morning, and I was so impressed. I was just like, seriously, it looks like I just put it on my face. There was not a bit of it that was rubbed off. There was no lines, sinkage in my skin. No pores were popping out. It just looked very, very, very good on my skin. It looked just flawless. It covered up any imperfection, any acne scar, any acne bumps or zits or anything that you may have. This will cover them up like no other. It is very buildable, very blendable. You can use it with a brush or with a sponge, which is what I prefer to use it with. I just feel like it makes the skin look a little bit more airbrushed with a sponge. I never felt like I had makeup on my skin, and sometimes you can feel that way with full coverage foundations, but this did not do that. So if out of all these I'm going to mention, I would totally suggest this one if you're looking for a full coverage foundation that is going to last all day long, not give you any trouble, and yeah, totally my favorite. And last but certainly not least is this e.l.f. Flawless Finish. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. The name's not on the bottle. Foundation. I had mine in the shade Porcelain, and in my past few videos, I've actually been wearing this. I've been wearing this every day since I did the first impressions on this, which I'll link up here if you haven't seen that. And I love this. I loved it in the first impressions. I love it like continually after I've used this. It's amazing. I don't have any bad things to say about this. I mean, just the packaging by itself just gets me. Like I said in the first impressions, it just reminds me of a NARS bottle, the way it has a frosted bottle and then a matte black top. And the best thing about this is it has a pump. Like, seriously, drugstore foundations do not have pumps. Very rarely do they do. And that is one of the best things I love about this, because I'm very heavy-handed and I tend to get way too much and I just feel like I have to use it all. But with these pumps, I can probably do about 1.5 or 2 pumps depending on how much coverage I want, and that'll be enough for me. I would classify this as like a medium coverage foundation, which can make into a full coverage foundation if you want to build it up. If you want to build it up, it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. None of these do. I mean, that's why they're my favorite, because I don't like feeling like I have foundation on my skin. It just grosses me out. So this is probably the best foundation for that feeling of lightweightness. It feels lightweight on the skin. It looks really, really good on the skin. Whenever I wear this, I'm just like, wow, my skin looks really, really good. It looks like luminous, but not oily. And it just looks very airbrushed. I just could not get over it for it being an e.l.f. foundation. It does not sink into fine lines. It does not bring out your pores. It does not make you dry and crackly, which if you have dry skin, you know that some foundations will do that. This does not make you dry. I love this. This I know was $6. These are all super affordable, and I think that if you're looking for something to just really make your skin look airbrushed but also feel lightweight and not have like a full coverage look and finish to it, I would totally go for this one. Alright y'all, well that was it for my top 4 favorite drugstore foundations. Super quick. I didn't want to spend too much time delving into these because I just love them for all the same reasons. And maybe if you have the same skin type as I do or like the same things that I do, maybe if you haven't tried these, you can go out and try them and maybe you'll love them just as much as I do. And if you have any video requests for me, don't forget to leave them down below, or I will have my social media in the description box. And it's also at the very start of this video in case you missed that. So you can hit me up on one of my social medias and tell me to do a video for you, and I will do that as well. Or you can just come and chat. I've been obsessed with Twitter lately. I don't know why, but I'm always on there now. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye y'all.